This is a presentation of DirecTV, exclusive home of the Red Zone channel, the Fantasy Zone, the Dan Patrick Show, 20 years of NFL Sunday Ticket, the Rich Eisen Show, and America's premier source for sports television.
Well, next question, how about the big fella over there in the middle?
I just want to thank y'all for what you've been doing after the races. Selling things with the fist that God gave you. And all them people, the tweeters, that's been seeing y'all been faking being mad. It's real to me, damn it!
Well, take it easy, man.
Well, listen here, it is all real, okay? Despite us all being fishing buddies in the off-season and the fact that, well, Joe Tom and Tom Joe carpool over here, but that's just on account of the fact that their wives are sisters. But other than that, yes, we do actually hate each other.
You're all fake! You're worse than wrestling. I mean, at least hair entertaining.
Who the hell said that? I'll show you fake! Oh!
Yeah, that's go! And you feel just like the box score! Shut her down!
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Collins for box score!
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the DMX out in New York City. Yay!
I just want to thank y'all for saying what needs to be said. Really, damn it.
It's real to me.
In your bodies.
Okay. You guys went out to a dinner last night. McLovin, what happened with the whole doggy bag?
Wow.
Oh, wow, you're just jumping right into it, huh?
Let's get right to
okay.
it.
So there was extra steak, and everyone is staying in hotels except for me and Dan's son. And Dan's son wanted to go out, so he handed me his bag. He's like, "Can you bring this in tomorrow?" So I totally forgot it this morning, but Dan's son also did not show up at the studio today to pick up said meat.
Yeah, I'm going to back McLovin on this one. If you have meat that you want to keep with you and eat later, don't give it to another man.
Yes.
Either he'll eat it or forget to bring it to you. You leave a restaurant with food, I think you're responsible for it. It was a very awkward transaction. I was on the corner, and Dan's son handed a bag full of meat to another gentleman.
Can we talk
McLovin.
about, by the way, you know what the bag full of meat was? It was the medium rare. So they go around and say, what kind of food do you want? Medium rare, do you want medium rare, medium, or medium well? The entire medium rare steak was untouched.
Just about.
Who ordered medium rare?
We went medium well.
Yeah.
And medium
And you
well.
would have thought it was like the most blasphemous thing people had ever
But I'm going to
said.
support you here. If you're bringing food home in a doggy bag, especially at a fine restaurant that we went to last night, you should be able to keep that, not have to worry about being the delivery boy to bring
Do
it
we
in the
come
next
off
day.
as total
I
jerks?
think you should actually be a man of your word, and if you said you're going to watch
that's
the guy's
true.
meat and bring it in for him, you should have brought it in.
Seton, how shocked were you to see Fritzy drinking wine last night?
Well, I wasn't shocked because it happens from time to time. It is rare, but he gets into his cups a little bit. The thing that's shocking is that you actually can't tell the difference between Todd. He usually gets like second-hand drunk.
Yes.
When I'll be drinking and he'll just be having water, but he's the one that's acting really hammered or something.
It's Thursday night. Thursday night. We're all hanging out together. I had the guests all lined up for the next day. I was feeling relaxed. I wasn't crazed like I usually am earlier in the week. I'm actually socializing and not looking for an excuse not to hang out with the guys. And it was really nice. I had like 2 full glasses of wine in spite of Dan panicking. Anytime any waiter comes anywhere near my glass, no, don't waste the wine on him. That's a waste. He's not going to drink it. He doesn't appreciate fine things like wine. Just get him a ginger
Has
ale.
anyone ever seen Todd get even the slightest bit drunk? I don't think I have.
No, but like Seton said, Seton and I will do the drinking, and Todd's behavior will delve into these dark areas.
He's the one that's slurring his words for some reason.
Can we get him
Like,
drunk? Because I don't think alcohol has any impact on him whatsoever.
I mean, if you
I'm a big guy. It's gonna take
if you have this much wine over the course of 3 hours, it's not going to get you off the rails.
You probably maybe should never take a bath in red wine like Amari Stoudemire did. That got the boss thinking, and then he asked actor Michael Rappaport if he'd drink Amari's bathwater.
As much as I need and want those Knicks to win, I'm gonna have to pass on that.
Are you kidding? You call yourself a Knicks fan?
I mean, maybe you got to call up some other guys. There's other Knicks fans that might drink it. Do I get to use a straw or do I got to just chug it?
Your choice.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I could hook you up to an IV.
Oh, it could be like a drip?
Yeah, it could be.
That I'll consider, like an IV drip of Amari Stoudemire's wine. Do I get the IV drip? Like, can I get it?
And he's in it while
Oh.
you're drinking it.
Is he nude or
Yes.
is he? Oh my goodness! See, now you're making it more enticing. You didn't tell me he was nude.
That was great. I love the way he played along with that, and it was I could appreciate that little bit of a creepy side to Michael Rappaport. He was really considering trying to weigh, hey, we get a Knicks NBA championship out of me, diving in and drinking the Amari Stoudemire red wine bathwater, and of course Dan has to push the envelope and add elements to it to make it a little bit more disgusting.
Well, how about you, Fritzy? Like a bath full of Wes Welker and Mountain Dew.
Ooh, I don't know if I'd go Wes Welker, but if you
Elway.
if you put Elway in there, then that would be a done deal. Maybe one of the three amigos from yesteryear.
How about all three amigos?
That I would not have a problem.
That's a
with.
party.
But ideally, I'd be looking at Rulon Jones and Carl Mecklenburg if we're going to do some kind of red wine.
They go
threesome.
great with Mountain Dew.
They do.
Yeah,
they
a
do.
little Mecklenburg and Dew.
Mecklenburg, Rulon Jones,
I was
Mountain Dew. I'm
often-
in. And little mini hot dogs.
Mecklenburg on Tecmo Bowl a lot. He was the only good Denver Broncos.
That was the only
player,
one?
Yeah.
And Howard Griffin.
Maybe a little albino rhino sangria. Well, I mean, you might be a little bit foggy from
There you
last
go.
night, too, because you tried to go back and forth with Rappaport on Rocky, and you ended up crapping thunder.
If you give me the right line, I'll give it right back to you.
I like my favorite line was when Agent said, "Win, Rocky, win." Well, what are we waiting for?
That was great. Rocky 2 after the baby was born, the little Martian baby with all the
I
hair.
say you can't win. We don't want this guy. He'll knock you to tomorrow, Rock.
He'll knock you to tomorrow, Rock.
You're gonna eat lightning and crap thunder. Catch that chicken, you.
What about my prime, Mick? At least you had a prime. I'm throwing lines back at you. You're not gonna ping pong with me?
What's my next line?
I don't think
Oh, what's my next? This guy's not a real Rocky
he's
fan.
not.
I said, what about my prime, Mick? At least you had a prime.
Yeah.
Oh man, Fritzy was set up for a really great moment, one that probably would have lived on for a while.
feel
Remember
terrible.
you trading lines with Michael Rappaport, iconic movie.
I'm so bummed. I don't know it the way he does. I love the movie, and I've watched it a number of times, but I didn't have it memorized the way. And Rappaport said he's watched it like 23 times in the theater. But I am bummed. That was a moment where we could have had a lot of fun going line for line and back and forth.
I thought you knew more about Rocky. I feel like I didn't realize you've been snowing us with the
No,
same
I go to the standard couple of lines. But
You're Italian.
all of a sudden he's quizzing me and he's like, yeah, that could have been a great moment of that segment, and I destroyed it.
Can't get that back.
No,
yeah,
I
that's
just
never gonna happen again.
I needed the script there, and I just did not have a script to play off.
Michael was comfortable, a good sport, and probably maybe a little too comfortable with you guys.
She is she's one of the most solid people.
Really?
She had a tough time, but she's cool as shit.
Wait.
Oh, what, we're on the air? Shit. Oh, wait, how we're on the radio? Sorry.
Yeah, it's on. It's on.
No one heard.
No.
You got a very quiet
It's
voice.
Okay.
very.
No, she's great, Juliet.
Mike would like to apologize for that. He didn't mean it. He's
Sorry.
He's such a casual swearer that not only did he swear on our show, you guys had a chance to beep him and you missed it. He said F and then the S word and you beeped one of the two. So now he's swore on two
I heard that
different
S
shows
word
today.
loud and clear just now. What was that about?
Oh man, I blame the graphics guys.
It's always got to be the graphics guys. Come on, pay attention.
Yeah, come on,
Figure out
graphics
together.
guy, and get your finger on the dump button because coming up, it turns out that Seton is and looks just like a quarterback. Also, a legendary coach calls in and clears the air.
Are you trying to go Brady here? Beard, hair?
You stand up there, Seton?
Well.
Put your head right next to Tom.
You two are kind of similar.
Nice face.
Yep, I can see it.
With the teeth, look at the expression.
Welcome back to Box Score. Seton, the boss said you look like a dreamy Tom Brady following a win. I mean, where's that rank on the compliments that you've ever received in your life?
right up there at the very top, and no one's ever said anything nicer to me. He did sort of hit on something though, in that I've always modeled my hair, and Andrew knows this, after Brad Pitt. So however Brad Pitt has his haircut, I almost immediately get that same exact haircut. I could do the same thing with Tommy Brady though, and maybe just go full wardrobe.
And Beckham too is always in the mix, right?
Becks, yeah. Those three guys, I mean, if you really just copy whatever they're doing, you're good to go.
Well, McLovin, did you feel the need to attack Seton after he said that Brady was actually hurting the Patriots?
Yes, and it wasn't because I disagree with him on anything. I just, I thought he was sort of stepping on my brand. I'm not going to lie to you.
I did steal your thunder a little bit.
Yeah, I could almost hear the Against the Grain music in the background when you said
And
that.
I have to tell you, it was really alluring to all of a sudden be an Against the Grainer. I was like, whoa, this space feels really nice.
It's like moving to Brooklyn.
Yeah, it was great.
No,
man. I was just
picture me.
relishing the
It's
moment.
11:30. I'm falling asleep. The game just ended. I get this text from Seton with an emergency alert. Tom Brady is killing the Patriots. I'm like, whoa, what's this dude doing? I text him and say that. He doesn't text me and say that.
Snuck it in there before you went to break.
It was so nice.
Oh, man.
You guys had legendary coach Bill Parcells, former Patriots coach, on, and he talked about his relationship with current Patriots coach Bill Belichick today.
You know, we had a little bit of what I would call a rough spot for a couple of years, but, you know, I see him. He lives in the same building I live in Florida. I mean, we communicate, we talk. We have a very good relationship now. I do have a high regard for him and an appreciation.
Wait, you live in the same building?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, his unit's right above me in the condominium complex in Florida.
I had read that Parcells and Belichick were back on good terms. I don't understand. They live in the same condominium in Florida.
That was odd. I was so surprised
Like,
of
what?
all the places in the world that both
Can you
in the same
imagine what
condo in
that's
Florida.
like?
It felt like it was one of those places, though, actually, like, oh, yeah, we're neighbors, and like that, condo that I almost never go to.
Yeah.
I just have so many, pieces of property.
And then he's right above him or something like that.
Can you picture, though, in the morning, Belichick
place
goes
in
out
Abu
there with
Dhabi,
his
too.
bathrobe with the hood on it to get the paper, and Parcells it. Bill?
Parcells yelling at the mailman because he's not doing it right, showing the proper way to deliver the mail.
Yeah, Paulie,
And it's
Paulie,
like,
you
hey,
tweeted that
how-
you saw a new sitcom coming out, The Two Bills. How would you see that unfolding?
Oh, it's a gold mine. I mean, if Bill Belichick and Bill Parcells want to make a sitcom or play off a sitcom of two football coaches living next to each other in the offseason, it writes itself. I mean, my gosh, base it off them. I'm not even kidding. There's a documentary about Robbie Rogers, the player for the LA Galaxy. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But if you did a comedy about a former football coach and the guy who basically took over for him and put him in a condo down in Boca, I'm all in.
Well, you know what? Those would be fun, but what if you put a Gruden in there? It's like the wacky neighbor. Gruden comes in and says,
"That's it.
What's for breakfast? A Spider Y2 banana?"
Yeah, Kramer is Gruden.
Insert
Gruden is
laugh
Kramer.
track and you're all set.
Fritzy, how about you and Paulie lived at Del Boca Vista? How would you see a sitcom unfolding with the two of you in it?
Ooh. Like some kind of snarky and creepy kind of thing.
Todd would be locked in his room the whole time.
I would.
That's a new Shellback drink, snarky and creepy.
Yeah.
There'd be very little interaction. I would probably put notes under Paulie's door because I don't actually make direct contact with any of the other Danettes. I'll send them emails and texts while they're sitting right in front of me throughout the course of the day. Then Paulie will send a note
I gotta
back
talk
with
about
a
this.
snarky response.
Todd's developed a new technique that now even I find unbelievably frustrating. Okay, and I'm sorry because you know that I love you.
Go for it.
Okay, Todd has taken to emailing somebody in the back room to ask me a question, where he'll email one of the back room guys and be like, "Hey, can you ask Seton about this thing? Like, we're sitting 7 feet from each other. Why don't you just ask me, or why don't you just email me? Because that person's only going to forward me that email and be like, hey, can you do this?"
What was that about a piece of video? I honestly don't even remember that, but that's how I guess bad it is that I'm not even aware of what I'm doing. But I do get very passive aggressive like that.
Is that accurate?
You kind of get passive aggressive.
But I get the point across, and then because I think a lot of times over the years we've all been on top of each other so much and working together so long. Sometimes I'll say something directly to someone, and then there's some kind of nasty retort back to me, and I'm like, you know what? I'd rather not deal with that. So I'll shoot a note, and then they can respond whenever or not respond, which is often the case, and pretend they never even read my email, or they'll send me some instant message, and maybe I'll get a little smiley face or something.
Right now?
Right now, yeah. I'm talking to them.
I can't tell if you're talking to me.
I'm talking to them, but I'm facing the camera. It's like what Bill Parcells did. He was trying to take shots at Lawrence Taylor, but he went through Phil Simms to let Lawrence Taylor know.
Something that'll happen is Todd will ask a question or send an email or something, and you will get the, hey, after the show, Todd, okay? And I know I laugh because I'm like, oh, that just ruined his whole day.
Yeah.
He's going to spend the next 4 hours thinking about, hey, Todd, after the show, okay?
You get tired of getting shut down and get little remarks. I'm going to send a note out, and they'll respond if ever when they get to it. Then
you must be a big fan of the movie Groundhog Day.
Oh, because it's the same thing over and over again? Yeah. You know what?
This is the same thing over and over again.
That's why I'm the same guy that...
This is the same thing over and over again.
But that's why I'm not... That's
Let's
why I'm the
take a
same
break,
guy that
guys.
early on...
I'll give you all the chance to all the passive-aggressive stuff
box.
you want. All the passive-aggressive stuff you want after this. It is Know Your Row, following these words. Know Your Row. The Box Score presents Great Moments in DP Show History.
You look at that. I'm coming.
Thanks for watching Great Moments in DP Show History. Welcome back to Box Score. A stupendous moment there. McLovin, that looked like he didn't pull a punch at all in that hit. How bad did that hurt?
No, well, he didn't, but he kind of caught me from hitting my head against the ground, which would have concussed me. That's a great moment of pride for me to get cheap shotted by Rodney Harrison. It makes me feel almost like an NFL player.
Pretty close. All right. Well, we know working for Dan Patrick is a joy and a half every day. But we here at the Box Score want to hear about the jobs that really sucked in your life, that just took the life right out of you. So how about we do this? Let's play another edition of...
Know Your Row!
For every bit.
Let's start with the front row. Paulie, what did Seton says that was the worst job ever?
Well, I'm pretty familiar with some of his jobs. I know he was a mailman, but I don't think he speaks ill of being a mailman. I think in retrospect, it's not the greatest job in the world. Oh, man, I'm gonna go mailman because that's the one he's talked about the most. And I think he didn't like it at the time because of the dogs and the weather and the walking.
Was it postal delivery service?
Well, I don't really think any of them sucked. All right, but if I had to guess two, okay, there's two that put me out in the elements a lot. One of them was as a letter carrier for the Postal Service, but I'm a big Postal Union guy. So I'm gonna say then, if I have to, the worst job was working out on the ramps at Hartford Airport, Bradley Airport, throwing bags and bringing in the planes, and you're out in the snow and rain all day and heat. Man, the one thing, when you're out there throwing those bags around, everybody packs about 150 pounds worth of stuff into their bag, and you just get thousands of them over and over again, and then you're cold and wet out there, and you're trying to cram them into this airplane. It was okay, and it got me through interning in radio and stuff, but I don't really want to go back there and do that anymore. But Paulie should get some points, though, because he absolutely nailed the post office thing.
No.
Absolutely.
This is such a front row maneuver to try and get points.
He even said he was right on. I don't speak ill of being a mailman because it's an awesome job, and I really support those people. They do an amazing, perform an amazing
they throw out
service
three
every single day.
All right.
One of those seven.
I think we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. The back row still has a chance to completely blow it. Now to the back row. McLovin, what was Fritzy's worst job?
This.
Anything involving Paul Pabst.
Yeah.
Does it have to be that way?
I have no idea.
Can we steal?
I'm gonna say no steals.
No stealsies?
All right, you guess and then we'll guess.
I'm gonna guess Booker for the Dan Patrick Show.
Paulie, go ahead.
We're gonna take a little guess, and then you can decide whether he's right or not. Fritzy worked at a stand selling food at a camp, and he was had a problem with but the specific job, not the camp counselor job, but the job in selling the food, because he had a big tiff with the owner.
He thought it was overpriced.
Overpriced, and he fought the man
That's amazing.
and changed the prices. So I'm not going to go more specific than camp counselor and say the specific job of working in the snack bar.
Okay, let's see if Paulie is
Hey,
absolutely
listen.
correct.
Worst job I ever had was working in the candy store at a camp. I should have just been a camp counselor, but I took the easy way out and thought I'd just be hanging out with candy, and then I found out all the prices were way overinflated, and there was a lot of kids crying because they could not afford the candy in our little park and recreation candy store by my house for camp.
Bravo, Paulie.
You would think my back row partner.
Todd's like amazed that Paulie remember that story. I've probably heard that story more than the story about the birth of my child.
We're going to give front row a point on that since it was so accurate. To the front row, Seaton, what was Paulie's worst work experience?
I have to be honest with you, I don't have a single clue what this could be.
This is a tough one.
He's lived many lives. He's had like
I know.
712 different jobs. I don't know how you would have possibly guessed this.
I'm going to bring Paulie back to the Southwest on this one. I'm going to say it was when he was a rodeo clown back in his days in the Scottsdale area.
Ooh, was it Lane Frost? Was he a rodeo clown?
I've never had a bad job because I would never stay at a bad job. To prove my point there, the worst job I ever had, I took a job with a magazine in Chicago in the sales department, ad sales. I just took it because I wanted the job right out of college. I was waiting for another job. I shouldn't have done it. I literally lasted until noon on my first day, and I walked to my boss and said, I have no talent for sales. I don't want to sell. I don't want to waste your time. I apologize. I accepted this job. I apologize, and I left. My boss was actually cool with it. They still owe me a paycheck for my first 4 hours, but worst job ever, advertising sales.
Yeah, I don't feel bad about that because I took this sales job, which I should have done. I tried really hard for 3 to 3.5 hours and got nowhere, and said to my boss, of course I went out to lunch first, and I came back and said, I don't think this is really for me, and I don't want to waste your time, and I apologize for taking the job. But I figured instead of spending 6 months there doing it, I'm kind of proud that I quit after one day.
I'm really disappointed though because Paul has told that story before, and I should have known that. It was a little obscure, but he has told it before.
Chicago Magazine.
Dang.
Back row, last one's for you. Fritzy, which job did McLovin hate the most? And there's a clue. It's not Honda Accord.
Not Honda Accord.
If Fritzy guesses this.
And it's not his kids Elizabeth and Shirley. I know it's not that. Well, I know he delivered pizzas for a couple of years, but I don't know how much he really enjoyed that. And he did the that legal clerk thing, but he never really complained that it was that horrible job. I think he's actually told me that he kind of liked it. So I'm going to say that he was in this like little wood shop place that builds things for elementary schools. He would make abacuses and rulers, compact, protractors, compasses, things like that, like little math, early childhood and junior high school math. Things to help you with those kind of projects. Especially abacuses.
Was it when
McLovin
did an internship for Geppetto?
Worst job I ever had was working at a deli because I had to clean the back and it was really disgusting.
Or the deli. That was
I've never told you that
about the abacuses?
That I delivered pizzas. I didn't know that you knew.
You were a pizza delivery boy, and then
how did you know that? Boston-style pizza.
Did you really? I was totally guessing. I know you're joking right now.
No, I did.
Did you really deliver pizza?
That's the most you've ever known about me. And you
I had no idea. I was totally making.
And by the way, if it's a wood shop, how are you going to make a compass?
Yeah, and you can't give that to elementary school kids. They'll poke their eye out with those compasses. But I could picture you with the red, yellow, blue, green.
Make that up?
That's an elaborate wrong
pizza
guess.
thing? Oh, about the abacuses. I totally made that up. That he was making math.
I thought it was so convincing that Paul and I actually gave each other a raised eyebrow and said they'd fix this answer.
How would Fritzy know? He doesn't pay attention to anything.
It was that convincing. Holy moly,
Back to
Todd.
reality.
Okay, there can be only one winner today, and it is the front row, not the woodshop kids in the back row. Okay, congrats, guys. Get yourself an abacus. Still to come, we set the table for this week's Danette Football Night in America Challenge. Welcome back to the Box Show. We're wrapping up things here. Last week in the Football Challenge, we had the Danette's guess. Who would say the name Manning the quickest? And in the fewest amount of words would it be DP or Bob Costas. We're going to take a similar tack and let's do it this way. How about that?
The Danette Football Night in America Challenge.
It's all that the wood shavings around here. Okay, last week we had the guys choose who would say the name Manning in the fastest and the fewest amount of words. Paulie took the point walking away, said Bob would say Manning first and got it closest to the pin with 13. So let's take a look at the leaderboard. I believe Paulie's on top with 3 points. McLovin and I have 2, and Seton and Fritzy have a point apiece. Paulie, do you think you can increase your lead this week?
Yes.
Of course you can. Okay, with Eli's brother Peyton taking to the field this week, we're going to go the same route, but we're going to see who says Peyton first and in the fewest amount of words. Paulie, you have the board, so start us off.
Oh, welcome to da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to say Bob Costas again. Oh, man. How many words? 14 words.
McLovin.
Well, when you said Manning last week, we had the choice. It could have been Dan saying something that Peyton did when Eli was a Sunday night game. But with Peyton, unless Jared Payton is back in the league with the Tennessee Titans, which I don't believe he is, there's only one person who would say Peyton, and that would be Bob Costas in 7 words.
Whoa.
Satan, who do you got?
Dang, that was totally my. Paul, you had
14.
You went 7.
You went 9.
I'm gonna go with Robert Nesta Costas at 11 words.
Fritzy.
I think Costas is into numbers. I know he's a big baseball fan, and I think he's going to amuse himself and see if anyone would pick up on that other than people that work on the box score. He's going to go with Peyton Manning's jersey number, and that's going to be the 18th word is going to be Peyton, uttered by Bob Costas.
I am numerologist. He's like a beautiful mind kind of numerologist.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Paul is dead. Paul is
Could
dead.
be.
Wow, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just going to go. I'm going to go my birthday. Bob and 24. Right on the dot. Okay, I think that's enough of this tomfoolery. You guys got to go to the bathroom, and so do I. Fritzy, who's on next week?
Tony Dungy and Pat Forty will join us on Monday. Pat Forty of Yahoo Sports is covering the Notre Dame-Florida State game. Later in the week, right here on this set, Howie Mandel will join us in studio next Friday. AJ Green will join us next week. A lot of stuff cooking.
Awesome. All right, thanks, guys, and thank you for watching The Box, or set your DVR or tune in weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, only on Audience Channel 239, and you can also catch our podcast available on iTunes or at podcast1.com. Go out there and have a great weekend, kids.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you. Because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching The Box Score. Holy cow!
This was a presentation of DirecTV, exclusive home of the Red Zone channel, the Fantasy Zone, the Dan Patrick Show, 20 years of NFL Sunday Ticket, the Rich Eisen Show, and America's premier source for sports television.